Hi, this is Lou, and I'm going to talk you through the process that I use for curation. I really got into curation a couple of years ago as part of the MHFE crowd, Mental Health in FE. And what we did was we did exactly what you can see this gorgeous satin Bowerbird bloke doing here. We looked at all the research offcuts from the Community Learning Mental Health Research Project, which was a massive DFE piece of research, £20 million piece of research, but it had very specific research outcomes. It had used a research tool to capture specific things. And the process of doing this research threw out all of this other wonderful stuff. And as a team, we got involved in curating it. So we were basically looking at videos and Padlets and session plans and interviews and evidence of, all sorts of different things. Artifacts, photographs, blogs, reflections that had been created over 2 years of delivering loads and loads and loads of courses. And what we did was what this bird does, which is pick out what we call the blue shiny things. This is what he does in his natural habitat. He makes this wonderful creation, the bower, the twiggy thing, and then he decorates it with things that are blue. And most of these, as you can see in the picture, are bottle tops and straws. They are the stuff we throw away, the stuff that's choking the planet, detritus of human life. But he thinks they're beautiful. And to attract a mate, he builds his bower and he decorates it with the blue things. When he doesn't get the girl, it all gets kicked over and then repurposed next time round. And I really love that idea of using and reusing what's already out there instead of having to do new research all of the time. But we have to curate those because nobody can understand that whole mass of stuff. He doesn't say anything, or rather it says too much. It needs organising in some way. And that's all that curation is. So step one of any curation process is to open up a space to dump stuff. And for me, there's nothing easier than a Padlet. I use 2 project management tools online. 3 if you count my diary, my online calendar. One is Trello, which I use to organise events. And the other is Padlet, which I use to organise stuff. This photograph here shows my reading, how I'm organising my reading. I do a little review of the books that I've read and I organise them on a Padlet month by month. Simple as to open up a Padlet. You don't have to pay for anything as long as you, up to 3 Padlets, you only need 1 to dump all the stuff that, would otherwise get thrown away. And that could be a session plan. It could be a piece of reflection. That doesn't necessarily mean it's written. You could record it on your phone and upload it. A little video, a quote from a student, or a photograph of an artifact that's produced, anything. Just dump it on. Don't be thinking at this stage what you're going to do with it. Just open up a space, and even better if you crowdsource the stuff on that space so that it's not just you. Step 2 is about opening your mind because, what is that stuff? What is that stuff that's useful? It's getting in a space where you're always taking photographs. So you've already set yourself up with the permissions, whenever you start working with a new group, do a blanket permission, get those individuals to say it's okay to take pictures, and then just start taking pictures, get in the habit of using things like Stephen Brookfield's CIQ, Critical Incident Questionnaire. That's something that's much less boring than it sounds if you do it as a group activity with Post-its that gets you some real verbatim feedback from an event or a class. Get in the habit of checking things out online, tuning into what is your particular subject area. So if that's digital, who do you follow on Twitter? What do you do when you see something that's, how can you get in the habit of, oh, that's an interesting report, I'm going to copy that onto my Padlet. So it really is a frame of mind. Seeing stuff out there and just dumping the links into your Padlet space without doing any processing of it at this stage. There are lots of clippy tools that you can get on the internet. So many. And I tend to do it manually because I've got control then. But you may speed up the process by getting Twitter clippers, how to clip things into Padlet, how to clip things into different spaces. If you're ready for that, then, just do a Google search. And then step 3, open up your reflections. And this photograph here is from a kaleidoscope, a kid's toy, like a long tube, and you twist it and it's got plastic gems inside, and they shake up into a different, never to be repeated pattern each time. That's such a great metaphor for curation. Opening up your reflections means getting other people to have a look in. One of the great strengths of the MHFE crowd co-constructing this curation of the research offcuts was we all come from a different angle. Every single human being has myriad identities constructed from their upbringings, their genealogy, their physicality, their sexual orientation, all of these things, their whole lives' experiences, and we each offer a different perspective as a human being. Bringing that wonderful diversity into the selections you make as part of a curation process is magnificent, particularly if you create a space where you can discuss, why am I picking this bit up? Why did that appeal to me? Where might that fit? What's that about? Well, I see something different in that. And having those conversations is really powerful. In literature around reflective practice, there's an increasing move towards using the word diffraction. If you know any basic physics, you'll understand about light hitting a prism and diffracting off into, the spectrum of the rainbow, the kaleidoscope, in a sense, diffracting the colours out, rather than reflection, which is a mirror, holding a mirror up, looking for some truth. Well, a curation process aims for trustworthiness, for an ethical practice, knowing why you've chosen what you've chosen, knowing why you're putting it where you're putting it. This is walking your ethics in a really, really robust and formative way. But you're not looking for an absolute truth, because hopefully you don't believe there's a real absolute truth out there. You're looking for trustworthiness. And then finally, you're ready to create. I love this picture. It's one of many pictures you can find celebrating the Indian festival of Holi, where coloured powder paints get exploded into the sky and people dance about in the streets. Something I've never personally experienced, but I really hope to one day, not least because it often falls on my birthday. So this is the idea of what's going to be the output of your curation. Are you going to write a report? Are you going to make a film? Are you going to write a story? Are you going to do a piece of art, poetry? Are you going to create something, beautiful? Are you going to take a photograph? Are you going to make another Padlet? What is it that's going to tell the story of this experience? How are you going to, what is going to be the end installation of the shiny blue things that you have created out of this piece of work?